Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 78 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is of course going to hold many different connections to the prequels and the originals, as well as using Star Wars Legends, also known as the Expanded Universe, as a form of inspirational source material to tell a very unique and original Star Wars film by JJ and George. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that JJ aims to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film, topping that of Revenge of the Sith, which really is going to be a very hard task to complete in my point of view, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, apart from all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of Rey, Poe, and Finn, as well as Chewbacca on board of the Millennium Falcon, where it's described that Rey is said to be going through many of Luke Skywalker's relics that she took from the world of Ahch-To during the events of Episode 8, where it's described that as Poe, Finn, and Chewie are in the Falcon, Rey is said to be sitting down by the table where she pulls out a metallic box that was taken from Luke Skywalker's hut on Ahch-To, where there is said to be a key attached to the side of the metallic box, where she unlocks and opens this box, where it's explained that in the box Rey comes across what's said to be pieces of Qui Gon Jinn's lightsaber hilt that is separated into multiple pieces, where its green kyber crystal is said to be placed in another segment within the box compartment itself. It's described that Luke has been holding on to this since after Kenobi's death after Star Wars A New Hope, and gathered this through Kenobi's hut on Tatooine sometime after the events of Return of the Jedi. Now, it's described to be one of the big Easter eggs of Qui-Gon Jinn from the prequel trilogy era, and how J.J. Abrams will tie in the character of Qui-Gon in a satisfying way for fans in the form of an Easter egg. It's explained that the box also contains a letter written by Obi-Wan Kenobi talking about Qui-Gon's saber and how to build a lightsaber itself. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the great thing about this that just puts a smile on my face, I will say, is that this is of course JJ paying attention to the prequels and everything that falls in between, right? The prequel trilogy, say what you will about the films, I know that the films get, and have gotten a lot of flack before many years ago, but at the end of the day, each and every film has their iconic moments, like the Phantom Menace, that epic battle between Maul, Qui-Gon, and Kenobi. Let's not forget about that, right? Even with Attack of the Clones, we have the epic battle between Dooku, Anakin, and Kenobi. Each and every film has its own highlights, and yes, for the most part, I will say that there was a great divide between the prequels, but the fact that JJ is inserting so much prequel trilogy continuity, I think it just shows how ambitious he really is and how he really wants to gravitate toward all Star Wars fans on all different mediums of the franchise. Whether you're only into the films or the books, the novels, the video games, or the TV series like Rebels and Clone Wars. JJ's really trying to make this movie pretty much serve as a magnet to all Star Wars fans. So this particular scenario is said to take place within the Millennium Falcon itself, where Rey is said to still be going through Luke Skywalker's belongings that she took off of Ahch-To. Now, that's a part in The Last Jedi that we did not get to see. In case you guys did not know, there was a deleted scene that never made it to the Blu-ray of Episode 8 that actually involved a sequence in which Rey is taking all the objects of Luke Skywalker out of his hut and boarding it on the Millennium Falcon. Obviously, I could tell that that scene would have taken up way too much screen time and probably wouldn't have served a great purpose, but it would have been interesting enough to know exactly what Rey took at that point in time, where now in Episode 9, it's going to be explained. So, the Qui-Gon Jinn kyber crystal, the green kyber crystal, as well as the pieces of his lightsaber that are stored away in this metallic box, it really does open up one's eyes as to why Luke Skywalker would be holding on to this. Well, it most likely is a way to respect his master's master, right? As a way to really kind of just respect the ways of the Jedi. After all, the museum on Ahch-To, by the way, there's a thing called the Caretaker Museum, which is where the caretakers insert all of the different artifacts and relics that were actually used by the ancient Jedi during their time of life on the island of Ahch-To, and of course, the the first Jedi Temple. So Luke Skywalker stored a lot of that within the hut itself, including Leia's lightsaber, which is said to be a big part of the film. Leia's lightsaber is going to be a big highlight of Episode 9, surprisingly, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to look like on the big screen. It's actually said to have a blue lightsaber blade, very much like Luke Skywalker's original from A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. So apart from all of this, it's really nice to know that he's trying his very best in order to somehow pretty much interconnect the character of Qui Gon in some way, shape, or form in The Rise of Skywalker. Though he may not be in the form of a Force ghost, we so far will be having him in, of course, the forms of Easter eggs and little references here and there and callbacks in the forms of visions. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.